Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Centerback. I'm Jeff Crandall, joined again by Kevin Egan. The Chicago Fire come off of 2 home draws this past week at home to Vancouver and the Columbus Crew. Kevin, take us through these 2 matches.
Yeah, very similar games in so many ways. I thought the first game defensively with Jeff Laurentiis going back to centre-back was very impressive. No spark going forward, though. The Fire couldn't really create many opportunities. Vancouver as well didn't really have too many openings, 2 on the night. Then the Columbus Crew game was a little bit different in the sense that both teams had a goal, but it was all about Sean Johnson, in my opinion. I thought that the big man had an incredible performance. 1 save in the second half with his left foot. How he managed to pull that off, the agility, the athleticism involved was simply incredible to preserve that. And then late on, Razvan Kocic had a wonderful chance, and I thought it was great defending by Tyson Wall toward the goal line. So it was entertaining, it was exciting. The Fire somehow once more just failed to get over the line.
2 draws last week. In the post-game, the more interesting topic was that of Jermaine Jones possibly joining the Chicago Fire. On Saturday, Frank Yallop said that he had had discussions with Jermaine. The club has made a sizable offer to the player, and he hasn't officially turned it down. They're waiting to hear back. This week we saw Chicago's own Lupe Fiasco tweet at Jermaine trying to get him to join the Fire. Interesting times for the Fire. We'll see. They're not bound by the transfer window as he is a free agent. So stay tuned to chicago-fire.com for more on that in the coming days if there's anything to report.
Yeah, and I think that's important to note that he is a free agent. So, you know, it will go beyond tomorrow's transfer deadline day. In other Fire news, of course, Harry Shipp and Chris Ritter were playing in the inaugural Homegrown game out in Portland. Both played a full half. Harry Shipp actually wore the armband at one point in a 0-0 draw. And then Benji Hoya and Victor Pineda away with the US under-23 team. They actually play against the Bahamas tomorrow.
Finally, Kevin, you know how big I am on the U.S. Open Cup. A historic moment occurred last night in Portland as U.S. Soccer, together with MLSsoccer.com and the Men in Blazers podcast, showed the final flip, the coin flip that I get to see all the time, live to all of America. Unfortunately for the Fire, and I guess the Seattle Sounders, the Philadelphia Union, and FC Dallas will host the final. Whoever wins that match, the Fire, of course, play at Seattle next Wednesday. You can see that game live on chicago-fire.com. Tough road to hoe either way if the Fire to find their record-tying 5th U.S. Open Cup. But before that,
there's action before that, Jeff.
A league game this Sunday. Fire close out the home stretch against the New York Red Bulls Sunday night.
And it doesn't get any easier for the Fire. The beauty is, though, it is another home game for the team. They have to try and get over that hump and get the win. New York, though, they're looking good right now. They had a comeback win against New England recently, as well as an away draw in Rio Tinto Stadium. Thierry Henry with an absolute beauty of a goal from distance, just placed it into the bottom corner. They're a very good side, but you know what? They have plenty of weaknesses at the back, and the Fire exploited those weaknesses in the Big Apple when they went on to win 5-4 earlier in the season. It promises to be an exciting game. I think games between New York and the Fire generally are quite an interesting, free-flowing game. In saying that, the teams did play out to a fairly boring 1-1 draw earlier in the season.
So, Kevin, big week ahead. White Party on Thursday. I know you got your skivvies. Sunday night, Fire versus New York Red Bulls, 6:30 p.m. Central Time on My 50 and Time Warner, Wisconsin. And it all plays into that important Open Cup semifinal next week at Seattle. For Kevin Egan, I'm Jeff Crandall. We'll see you next week on the Centerback.